Okay. Next is the entrepreneurial skill set. Earlier we saw about mindset. Now it is about skill set. What are these? With an entrepreneurial mindset, you are halfway there to bringing your innovative ideas to life. What is the other half? All that is left is learning the practical tools and skills that successful entrepreneurs have in their toolbox. What are those tools and the skills? One is creativity. You should be creative. You should not start the same company what is already there available in the market. You should be little creative. Don't start the same old construction company, interior fit out company which is already there. You should be doing something creative than that. Make a difference because you are trying to make a difference in the society. So your business also should start with a difference. Teamwork, idea generation, opportunity analysis, market research and customer validation. So this market research is doing something before you launch, and customer validation is after you launch. From the feedback, what the customers have given, with that you validate whatever ideology, business logics, business ideology, methodology, all that you have formulated, whether it is going in the right direction, meeting the expectation of the end user or not. And design thinking. This is a new ideology of running a business. How you make use of your resources to solve the solution, to give solutions to solve the everyday problems of the end user. And prototyping before it is fully launched. How you prototype it and then test it. And business model methodology. These are the tools and techniques and skills required to become an entrepreneur. Pitching is nothing but trying your marketing to a prospective client or customer. So this may be by way of presentations, by way of talking, and by way of showing some your examples or some prototypes, some models. With that, this is called pitching. You go on your own and do it. And then finally, public speaking. Public speaking, Indians, I have seen, even though they have a thorough knowledge about the same language, English also, but when it comes to speaking in public, expressing their ideas, most of them lack. And even I was not an exclusion to it for a longer period. And slowly I broke that ideology and came out. So similarly, when you start doing an entrepreneurial mindset and then you start learning it, there is a possibility that you can also break the ceiling and then come out of it. In the part two, how to identify your entrepreneurial skills, redefine them to match your business, we'll see very detail in the part two presentation of it. But still, as a first initial stage, you have to keep observing your behavior, your self-analysis. You have to do it. You find out what is your strength and what is your weakness. To start any business, you have to know what is your strength and your weakness, what you are good and what you are bad. So your strength will continue to be your strength and your weakness will always continue to be your weakness. What you can do about it, try to find some via media to balance it and then try to pull all your weaknesses and then try to convert or maximize the benefit of your strengths. This is how you have to manage it. So you have to analyze first what is your strength and weaknesses. In management term, it is called SWOT analysis: strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So this you can apply to a product or a business system, or you can apply to your own self also. What is your strength? What is your weakness? What is a threat for you? What is an opportunity for you, like that. So this also will help you to have the clarity on what is good for you, whether it work for you or not. And next is the entrepreneur mindset versus skill set. Which one is more important? Business owner, what is more important? You should have a mindset or a skill set. So think about it, whether you should have. In my opinion, mindset is more important than having a skill set. Developing this mindset needs a lot of courage, needs a lot of repositioning your mental makeup. Your ideology should change, your thinking ability should be changed, your wavelength should change to make a mind shift, to get a entrepreneur mindset from the employee mindset to business mindset. All these things to happen. So skill set at any time you can learn it. You can learn it with depending on your intelligence level. With short duration, you can learn it from different sources. But this developing an entrepreneurial mindset, it should something happen within yourself. So this is more important. This will take more time, and that is one reason I am taking maybe more than an hour session to break this mental makeup. Because today's youngsters, they always want to have jobs. They don't want to start something on their own. Forget the business. This kind of entrepreneurship initiatives also they don't want to do it. They don't want to take risk, and then because of the low commitment and then the skill levels, adding many dimensions to it. So certain things can be easily broken. Certain things takes time. So having a entrepreneurial mindset is more important than having an entrepreneurial skill set along with other resources required to become a successful entrepreneur. So you should start with mindset always. If that is done, the rest will fall in place. When the student is ready, the master will appear. This is the Chinese proverb. So this is something like that. The next question is, with all that qualifications, mental makeup, am I still fit for it at this age? Am I fit for it? Is business right for me or wrong? So this question also is there in many youngsters' mindset. I'll give you some simple, you have to ask some simple questions. Based on the answers, you can decide whether you are made for it or you still have to reposition your mental makeup. 5 signs you should not start a business. Number one, you are desperate for money. Next month onwards, you want to make profit, or next year onwards, you want to make a profit after 6 months. You want to see a lot of money, you want to buy a Porsche car or something, then you should not start a business. So if you are desperate for money, you should not start your entrepreneurship. It's not going to help. It's not going to happen that way. You can't close sales. This means you should talk and you should understand the customer needs, and then you should be competitive in your pricing. All these things to happen. Close sales is not a single word. There are a lot more activities hidden behind it. Closing the sale, when it happens, when all these things happen, you understand the customer profile, you understand his needs, you give a correct solution and cost your solution. The solution doesn't come at free of cost. So there is a resources required for it, and then your profit is also there. You have to price your solution, and then price should be competitive in the market, and then should be convincing to his pocket, the customer's pocket. All these things will happen before you close the sale. So you can't close the sale, only talk, then the entrepreneurship is not for you. And you don't understand the industry. No matter you are qualified or not, you should understand the industry, how it works, how the payment is collected, in what stages payment you can extract the payment. All the payment you cannot extract at the upfront from the customer. Nobody is going to trust you. So in that case, how to distribute your payment? What should be the last payment? In case if the last payment is not given by the client, end user or buyer, what you will do it? How to recover it? So all these things uh, comprise understanding the industry, how it works. And you think you will succeed in less than 1 year, then also it is a wrong assumption. You should not start your business. It is not going to happen that way. It is going to take many years. And you are not willing to dedicate 10 to 20 years of your business. This is too much. You may be thinking that this is too much, but there is a large bandwidth, 10 to 20 years. You know why? Not everyone is blessed with the same level of intelligence, same level of smartness to run a business. Some people can become successful in third or fourth year onwards. And some people may take 10 years. and your 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 entrepreneurship initiative should mature into a business in about 20 years time, so that your business is creating some kind of already impact in the market and you have a brand name to it, and the business can run on its own. So this takes about 10 to 20 years depending on individual's capability. So you should be able to dedicate the next 10 to 20 years. If you are in your 20s, it's the right time that next 10 to 20 years maximum you can you can dedicate to your entrepreneurship initiative, business initiative. And like any other dream employee out there in the IT industry, you can think about getting retirement in your 40s. Okay, this slide will give you the answers why, if you are already fit for it, or you need to further shift your mental makeup. And when can I start? This is another important question. Now only I'm just graduating. I don't have even 1 day of experience. Can I start the business? If I start, what if I fail? Without 1 day experience, how do I run the business? All this. So when you can start the business, don't wait. The time will never be the just right. Start where you stand now. This is the word. This is the right answer for that. This is the best answer, and this is the only right answer for this question. Okay, you should not wait for it. You have to start. So the entrepreneurship initiative or the business initiative, you should start your business even before you are ready to start the business. That is another answer. When I asked the same question to an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur, he told you should start your business before you are ready to start the business. So otherwise, what will happen? If you don't build your own dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. This is exactly what is happening in today. All the construction companies are becoming very big. Look at L&T. They are becoming big every year. They are posting their the annual report with a lot of profit margins, crores and crores of rupees. But young engineers are going and being an employee there. They are slogging their all their energy, young times, day and night, at the edge of the India, at the top of the hill, at the bottom of the tunnel, all that. So L&T is building their dream now. So if you don't build your own dream, someone will hire you to build theirs. This is an example. The power of small effort. How to build it? When I say 10 to 20 years, yes, of course, this takes this much time. But smaller efforts, you have to make a consistent and small effort every day, every time, all through the year. This I can explain with the mathematical equation, which you may already know. 1 power 365 is still 1, no change. So if you don't make any difference in your efforts, all the 365 days in a year, at the end of the year, you will still be at the same position. If you are looking for a job, if you are searching for a job without making any change in your skill level or your knowledge level, if you don't make any change in that, but still you look out for a job, at the end of the year, you will be remain as the same old you 365 days ago. But if you make a small effort, 1% effect, 1%, this is 1.01 power. 365 is about 37.78. So 37.8 times it gives more result, better result. 1% consistently for 1 year. At the end of the year, you will have 37 times more result. But what if you make little more effort, 2% effort, 1.02 to the power 365 is 1377 times more effort. So this is the power of little increment in your daily effort and consistently for 1 year. And what if you are doing something negative, non-productive, like all your Facebook chat, I can say 0.99, you reduce it by 1% less effort every day, and your end result will be 0.03, 33.33 times less result at the end of a year. You will become minus at the end of the year. So for some people can have a graphical representation to something like this. 1% ka farak. There is a graph available in the internet also. You can refer to it. So this is the effect of small effort. Entrepreneurship always happens with little and consistent effort over a long period of time. You need to be patient for this. Like this in this picture, it grows very slowly only and steadily it grows. This is how all successful entrepreneurs have done their uh, achievement over the years. So the ultimate stage when you become a successful entrepreneur, what will happen after spending several sleepless nights and become a successful entrepreneur after a few years? What are you going to give back to the society? What are you going to achieve and give back to the society which helped you to build your empire, your own dream business? You will generate jobs. Jobs generation for the jobless generation. This is where you will end up at the pinnacle of your business venture. You will give a lot of jobs to the people when people are looking for jobs. This is, I wish all of you should attain this level of generating jobs to a jobless generation. And the other question is, what if I fail? If this is one of the reasons, or this is the first reason why you are not starting a business. What if I fail? Nothing. Don't have to worry. Everything you want in life is on the other side of fear. This is the proverb. Everything you want in life is on the other side of fear. Either you will forever live in the fear of failure, or you will have an ambition. What if the world needs this? What if the world needs my service? So your entrepreneurship is lying between these two dilemmas. So what will happen? What should you do? You should always make sure that your ambition is greater than the fear of failure. This is the best solution to win your fear of failure, first of all. And even if you fail, don't worry. If it works, you enjoy the money, or else you find a different solution. And then if it works, same thing will happen. Repeatedly, tirelessly, you should be doing it without fail and without it getting tired. You should be consistently doing it until you succeed. You will succeed. But there is 1% possibility that you will still fail. What will happen? Nothing great. You are already qualified. You have 2 years of experience now. If I say that after 2 years you determine or you accept your failure, you declare that you are failure. So your mental makeup is such that you accept your failure and then it is real failure. No point, never mind. You already have a qualification in hand. You are already an engineer now, and you have created your own experience. For 2 years of you have 2 years of experience. You can again go back to the job market looking for a job. But remember, this time you are not the same old you once you were wandering in the streets for job. You have created your own experience. Now you know what will work. Now you know what will not work. So with this expertise and with this experience, you can go out and look for a job. And if the entrepreneurship fire is still burning inside you, you will return and then restart your entrepreneurship initiative after a few years with this time with more vigor, this time with more power, more confidence. So there is nothing called you will fail, you will become a complete failure. That case will never arise. Even if you declare as a failure, it's not a failure. You have already gained 2 years of your own experience, which is required to get it to gain a job. So I have seen some people gone like this also. People have gone to work and then come back and then started their own company with more vigor. So this also happens. I have seen this also. So this question is also answered. Okay, I have taken a lot of time to explain, to break your mental makeup. And if one person changes his mental makeup and starts to become an entrepreneur, I will consider this lecture as a successful one. And I wish all of you to start initiating to shift your mental makeup from your employee mindset looking for jobs to an entrepreneur mindset where you own a job, you start giving a job to others. And then I wind up my case here. Thank you for your time, and thank you CMTA once again for giving me an opportunity to talk upon a subject which is close to my heart and which I would always love to do it. And we expect we can meet in uh, another session, section 2. In section 2 we'll see the how we can become how to become an entrepreneur first of all, and what are these qualities required, and then how to develop the entrepreneur mindset, and how to develop entrepreneur skills, and what are the opportunities available especially for civil engineers, where you can find help in case if you want product help, in case if you want a finance help, what kind of help is given by the governments, state government and central government, what they offer to make you an entrepreneurship through the Make in India kind of schemes and other things. So all these things we will see in the next presentation. Thank you until then. And if you have, I am ready for taking up the questions, and you can ask a lot of questions also. I am expecting that is why I am trying to conclude 40 minutes earlier than the scheduled time, allowing a lot of time for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for your nice presentation. I was listening to the entire presentation. Even I had regrets when I was working for the company. Why I have not started this entrepreneurship? If I could have listened to these kind of lectures earlier, I could have started my journey as an entrepreneur in the beginning dates itself. But I learned a lot from my seniors and their working style, and the learning from other people, means not only the civil engineers, the management people, how they are managing the companies. If you take any of the construction company also, most of the companies are managed by the chartered accountants or the management people who grown up and took the entrepreneurship. Uh, in your slide also, you are mentioning that 17 to 18% of the engineers are taking the entrepreneurship. Even when I met a few top people in the construction industry, they are telling that, sir, we are getting bunch of engineers, but we are not getting the contractors. This was the statement of a leading real estate developer in Bangalore. When I met him in a conference, he told, sir, we are not getting contractors. The qualified contractors we are not getting. We are getting the people who can work as an engineer. Why can't you produce some entrepreneurs and give us so that we can do the work in a better way? Because now if you take our construction industry also, most of the people are from the by experience only their entrepreneurship and
And
qualified.
even in today's industry also, you will feel less qualified people doing a lot of business than the more qualifying people. This is still a dilemma in construction industry. This should be changing. If more qualified people take up the business, and then the business environment will become better. And this is one of the reason why the construction industry is not matured in India, like other countries. Construction industry is not matured. If you go to Singapore, the contractor himself, he will feel the PE license holder, and then he will sign his own design, and then he can generate beautiful reports, design reports. So contract industry is very matured in Singapore kind of country. Even though this country is very small and very few engineering colleges, the construction industry is highly matured. The contractors are highly professional. So in Indian construction industry, it is still not matured. The main reason being the unqualified or little less qualified people are there in the forefront running the successful business.
Yes, sir. Jyotir, can you read the questions which is in the chat box so that sir will reply on the questions which are available in the chat box?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And after then, people can raise your hands and you can speak. You can raise your queries. Yeah.
Okay, the first question is from ABC. Okay, sir, can a construction firm apply for a government tenders and contract?
Definitely, they can. This is how you can see if you want to apply to government contracts, you are at the advantage. There is something called ESD, security deposit. So for qualified people, it is enough you attach your degree copy of your degree certificate. So there are two things to apply for a government contract: earnest money deposit and security deposit. And earnest EMD, they call EMD, all contractor have to give. But security deposit, the qualified engineers are exempted from security deposit to be paid in the form of money. Your degree certificate is enough. That gives a guarantee that you will do the work properly. There is no security deposit required. Only earnest money deposit is required. You can very well register it. Registration, different classes are there. And in municipality, there is a different class. And if you go to Panchayat Union, there is a different procedure and amount for it. You can very well register yourself or your company, your whatever company you launch, you can very well do it.
Okay. The next question is from Baba Afrid Sheikh. Sir, as a fresher or who are completed graduation to become an entrepreneur, what are the skill strategies we need? Also, who are not having awareness about the entrepreneur, what are the things or the steps to be followed to become an entrepreneur? Within a short duration, is it possible to become an entrepreneur, especially for young engineers?
Yeah, there are three questions. What are the skills required? You have to see this presentation again. I have given the skills, and you want the details about it, attend the next presentation, session 2. And what are the, this is one, two questions. Number 3, is it possible to become entrepreneur in a short period of time? No, it is not possible to become a successful entrepreneur in a short period of time unless you are extremely smart and extremely resourceful, and you are born in some kind of influential family with a lot of political connections.
Thank you, sir. Next question is from Praveen. How to fight with fear for starting entrepreneur or business?
You fight with the fear. As I told you, everything you want in life is on the other side of fear. So first you have to come out of your comfort zone, spending your father's money. For that, you have to start something, doing something on your own. Give yourself some time for this to mature and start earning good money for you. Immediately you have to become if you want to kill fear immediately, you have to become an entrepreneur immediately. From where you stand, you can start. That is the sentence I have mentioned. You can start, become an entrepreneur right now where you are standing. So it is the first mindset. I have not spoken about money to run the entrepreneurship, because money is not the first and foremost thing. Money is required. That is why I have decided to talk about it in the next presentation.
Okay, sir. The next question is, which company should it be better to start with, like consultation firm or construction firm or many more?
So this depends on what you identify. Again, you are asking from the business mindset only. I'm not asking you to start the business. It is not that. Asking you start the entrepreneurship. The difference between these two is, as starting, there are a lot of consultancy company already. There are a lot of construction company already there in the market. So you will be starting one more company, increasing the one more number in the market, and go with the competition. So this is called starting your new business. This is not all the lecture is all about. This is all about an entrepreneurship. You have to identify a problem in the market, real life problem, and find a solution. So if you want to start any business, you can start straight away. Either it's a consultancy or the contract, depending on your wish and your bandwidth. And you can spend early money about pitching, and you have influence to take government projects also. You can start a contracting company. Or if you don't have any influence and then you want to start from the scratch everything, you can think about starting a small quantity surveying and consulting company. Also, you can start doing small time project management consulting and structural consulting. All that you can start. But being an entrepreneurship is little different. First, you have to develop a mindset. Then you have to approach the market. You go to the world, go to the real life situation, and then find what is needed in the market, then find a solution, unique solution to it. Then you offer this solution. That is called entrepreneurship. Otherwise, you'll be doing a business. I anticipated this question. I anticipated because today's youngsters.
I will add a little small example so that they will understand in a better way. I will give few companies' name. Vignesh, can you mute yourself, Vignesh Ashwin? Yeah. Can you, the people who are here, can you just go through and Google how HouseJoy is working, how the recent companies, the new age companies which was started recently. Mr. Vignesh, can you mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. HouseJoy and Hire and Build, and one more company is Brick and Bolt. How they are different from conventional companies. If you explore, you will get a fair idea. I am just giving a small example. It may be some other idea also you can come up. These are some difference between the conventional and the new age companies. Yes, sir. Over to you.
Yeah, that's all. I have finished my answer. Next question, please.
Okay. Next question is from Prani. Sir, how much investment is required to start as an entrepreneur?
Zero investment. You don't need money on the day one. To start an entrepreneurship, you need only the entrepreneurship mindset and your skills, your time and your energy only. And once you start flying, that time only you need money. Money that much you will not spend crores of money on day one. So you will not lose a lot of money on that. You will need only little money to start with. So you have enough resources, and there are many places where you can develop this money from, where you can get this money from.
Okay. The next question is from Sanjay Kamdar. Can anyone start entrepreneurship at old age? What are the precautions should be taken?
Anyone start entrepreneurship?
At an old age.
Yeah, you can start doing it. No problem. The precaution is you will not have the enough bandwidth. You should be able to spend the next 30 to 10 to 15 years at least, or at least 5 to 10 years. You will need to sustain your business, to develop it, and for this entrepreneurship initiative to mature and become a full business before you hand over to your son or daughter. You need to develop it. So you should have the bandwidth. So that would be the challenge, and you will not be able to travel like a youngster. This is the biggest challenge. Your mobility will become a big challenge. Your energy level and mobility becomes a big challenge. Otherwise, I don't see any challenge to start entrepreneur, to becoming an entrepreneur at an old age. Not at all an issue at all. Your health should permit for the next 5 to 10 years at least. You should have a brisk life. Your energy level should be at the maximum.
Okay, sir. The next question is from Priyanka Bansali. To what scale do we start? If it's a small one, it becomes very difficult to compete with the professionals already in the market. And to start with a bigger scale, it is much more difficult to handle.
Yeah, you have to start with small, and you don't have to compete with your small timers, because your solution is going to be unique. What is required in the market? Like Zomato, who was there for a competitor? Now only until Swiggy comes and other things comes, he was only the pioneer. So like this, you will start. There will be some competition will be there, but at the minimum level, it will be there. But I suggest to start small. Entrepreneurship always starting small and growing it into bigger ideas as it grows.
Sir, but we need the team. It is not a one hand in this construction line.
Of course, yes. You
Then
should
how do
find
we
the
cope with
like-minded
that?
people. Yeah, you should have a team. Means if two are also a team. You can, if you find one like-minded person with the same frequency, almost the same frequency, that is enough. See, big businesses, the twin names, all these started as a small time only. Lawrence and Mayo, and you see, for the example, this L&T, Larsen and Toubro. You know who are they? One is a carpenter and one foreman fitter something. One is a carpenter. They started small, and now you see L&T how big it is.
Okay, sir. The next question is, sir, can we combine real estate and construction?
Yes, you can, but your focus will shift, or focus will be distributed. You need a thorough focus, at least for first few years. So you have to start with which is close to your heart, and then you can add some other things. First, I would like to suggest that you have to start with one thing in mind, so that your attention and focus never shift or drift.
Okay, sir. The next question is, what is the limit in taking risks?
What is?
The limit in taking risk.
Yeah, this called the risk threshold for an individual. What is not a risk for me may be a very risk for you, or what is a small risk for you may be a very big risk for me. This depends on individuals, number one, and it depends on the type of business, product, service you take. These are the two things to determine it. The risk threshold for individual varies. As long as there is no big money involved in it, it is not a financial risk. When I say risk, it is a failure risk, or the damage of the name, or your loss of time. These are the risks. As long as no big money is involved, becoming an entrepreneur, no big money is involved.
Okay, sir. The next question is, what are the new ideas or techniques for entrepreneurship?
Yeah. In the next session, I would like to cover it in details with some few examples about entrepreneurship. From the way the questions are coming, I still feel that there is a lot more confusion between starting a business and starting and becoming an entrepreneur. So I would suggest that you go through the lecture again, and then I also request to be present for the next lecture to know more about it.
Sir, can you tell me about what are the types of licenses related to government works and private works?
See, if you want to start your consultancy, you need to create a indemnity bond for all the works you do. If you are doing a structural design, you have to indemnify the client that if the building falls, collapses because of the structural design calculations, the owners are not responsible. You have to become responsible. So this is one thing comes to my mind in case if you want to run a business, and then you have to register for all that GST, and then ROCAB is the registries of companies and business. There you have to register your business, what kind of, if it's a partnership or a private limited, like that you have to register it. And then this indemnification certification also you have to give to your clients. But in case if you want to have a construction company, you have to start from labor license, labor insurance, then the ECI card, you have to give them. All that are there. And if you want to go for a government, each department has their own registration process and registration requirements. And one of them is the last 3 years income tax statement, and some of them are requiring last 5 years income tax statement. And your tax registration, again, GST, and all that you have to take. And then in addition to that, the labor license, labor related things.
Hello.
Yes.
I am going to complete my BTech course and
Okay.
also interested for the further studies. Is
Okay.
with the MTech or MBA, where is the more scope?
The scope, more scope is there with the only BTech.
No,
Okay.
I have completed my BTech
Okay.
and interested for the further studies. So
Okay.
MTech will be better or MBA?
It depends on what kind of business you want to do it. In case if you want to start your own company in the field of design and engineering, you need more qualification in your own domain, which means MTech. And you want to start the business right away with any other thing like contracting or even consulting also at a different level. Your MBA will be more sufficient. If the choice is given to me, I will go for MBA only because Indians, they technically they are good only, and BTech you have already completed. That itself testifies that you are good in technically. That is enough. And see, all of us are not going to design rockets and launch to the moon. So not everyone needs MTech or PhD unless you desire to continue or pursue in the research area or teaching area or in that kind of high-end consulting. You need to have a technical qualification more. What we lack is to find the business opportunity and converting your education, your knowledge into business and making money out of it. This is where most Indians lack, and the slide which I have shown also proves that we lack in that. So better
No,
you go through
I am not
MBA.
interested. I am not interested for my own business. I want to join the construction company. So construction company give more preference to the MTech or with the MBA.
MBA.
The MBA only.
MBA only.
MBA only.
NBA.
Yes.
I am daily conducting so many interviews. I am connected with a lot many employers. They are asking even for the construction. They are asking, sir, diploma with a 2 years experience or 3 years enough. Sir, the B also not required if they really want to work on the field. And nowadays, I am telling that, sir, you can take a B candidates also. They are ready to work. No, sir, they are not ready to work, and they want desk-based jobs. All these things, because if you take a construction, at least 6 hours, the people has to roam on the project sites. If you are in a 8-hour job,
So
so the preference is for the people who are having a BE plus MBA. That will be better. They are looking for.
it means B plus MBA is the more scope
Yes.
as
Yes.
compared to the B plus MTech.
Yes, of
Yes.
course.
Of course.
Okay. Right. MBA in the finance will be better or for our other branch? Can you advise?
MBA,
MBA you can take anything.
administration also anything, I think. Fine.
Anything.
Yeah.
So
Business.
the so for
We
construct for
see the basic thing is if you are bringing business to the company, they are happy.
okay. So for construction line, BTech plus MBA is the more important.
Yes. More important, it's not like more important. You can companies are looking for how you will bring business to the company.
Okay. And it doesn't matter. I have the candidate completed MTech from India or anywhere.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Your session was very good for the new generation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're
Yes, Kandan,
welcome.
is there any more questions?
Yes, sir. There are, I think, 2 or 3 more left.
Yeah, please. Mr.
How to
Sound, yeah.
take and start contracts?
You have to reach out. You have to reach out. Talk. You have to talk. You have to make your presence in the social media.
Sir, please tell about a joint venture program in construction.
Yeah, at present, see, joint venture, you should become an expert in your area. And when you become an expert in one area, you know what are the weakness. So to compensate for weakness, you can partner up with some other organization which can compensate for your weaknesses and launch a joint venture to satisfy the need of the market. For that, you should become an expert in one thing. Being a young graduate, I don't recommend for any joint venture, and I don't recommend any partnership companies to start with if you want to become a entrepreneur also. For an entrepreneur, I want you to start. I am suggesting you to start on your own, run your own. Then once you become an expert, your company has matured into a full business, then you know how to deal with the joint venture programs, and then what is required, and then what are the checkpoints, checks and balances you will know. And then after that only, I recommend to go for a joint venture. So when you start becoming an entrepreneur, I don't recommend to go with a joint venture. Partnership, joint venture, nothing will work. I tried this, but it did not work for me in construction industry.
Moving on.
Sir, in the construction industry,
Go ahead.
sir, in the construction industry, is we have to start the new things, or we have to start the present things with a smarter way.
Both are acceptable as long as you satisfy the need of the market. What market needs. For that, you have to find a unique solution, or it may be addressing a new problem like the one in the COVID, or you can address the age-old problem which is already there in a unique way. Both will come under the definition of entrepreneurship.
Sir, how will we try to find out what is needed in the market?
Yeah, that is where curiosity. I told now the number one item in the entrepreneurship mindset. You have to develop an entrepreneurship mindset. Look for an opportunity in everything. This is how the new businesses have grown, and this is the way all the new business will grow in future also. See, for example, the construction industry, you take the example of farm work. Do we have all the accessories for farm work? We don't have. We are still using some crude systems of boogies, and all we are using for just a retaining wall, small retaining wall, or a septic tank you construct, or a water tank you construct out of RCC. We don't have a correct farm accessories to use with. So why don't you start producing, selling it? And then the cover block. These are the many areas are there in construction industry where you can mark a presence, you can start doing things on your own. There are so many in
Okay.
construction industry.
Thank you, sir.
So like this, increase your curiosity level about when you go to construction site, what can make things easier for the construction worker. You see, day by day, the skill level of the labor is coming down, which means, but the tools and tackles have not increased to patch up for that, to compensate for their decreased skill level or productivity level. That is why the productivity is coming and keep on coming down. You take the CPWD standard output, and there is an Indian standard code also about the output, labor output of each item of work. But you go to any construction industry, and every construction industry, every company has their own benchmarking about what is the labor productivity. I have seen with some of the big companies in India, it is about 50% of what the government has already established as a labor productivity. Why the productivity has come down? Actually, it should increase with the advent of latest technologies. Marking, earlier we were marking with the chains, now we are marking with the total stations and all, but still the productivity keeps on decreasing. So which means the tools and tackles are not compensating. This is why the productivity decreasing from the manual. That is a different matter. Skill level is a different matter that we are not trying to address. At least something else should be there to compensate for that. So these are the avenues where you can focus for developing your new products and service within the construction industry itself. It may not be for a new client, a new owner. Within the construction industry, you can supply, all the construction companies can be your clients.
Sir, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I am the student of final year BTech
Okay.
Civil Engineering, and after my BTech degree, I wants to join the MBA,
Okay.
and after that, I wants to work with the construction company at the
Okay.
head office job. Office job. So
Okay.
I want to know after completion of MBA, it will be better to again do any course related to the construction management.
No need for
No,
that. See,
it will be
if you want to work in the construction industry itself, there are different courses already available in the National Construction National NICMAR is there, no? National Institute of
Nigmar,
Construction
yes,
Management and Research.
yes, yes,
So they
yes.
are conducting some courses, and I think L&T is also having a project management institute somewhere in the North India. Am I right,
IPM,
Ashok?
IPM. In Chennai, they have in North India also they are having.
Ah, North India
No,
they have.
no, it will be better after BTech MBA or course from any management course from the NICMAR.
Immediately after BTech, you can do it. Why you want to go for MBA unless you want to have some fancy degrees behind your name? Something related to, I would suggest something related to construction industry only.
No, no, I
NICMAR is
want
there.
to work with the.
L&T have their own project management institute also.
So it will be better to join the NICMAR or LT, any course with the
Yes,
LNT,
yes, yes.
not MBA.
Not in MBA. MBA again, you have to apply those policies. See, in India and Indian engineering graduates, I have seen problem coming when it comes to application of whatever they have learned. So MBA, how effectively you can apply your in your construction industry is some. It depends on individual's ability. So to nullify that, to preempt that ideology or preempt that case, I would suggest that immediately after BTech, you go to these courses where the focus is more on the construction industry itself.
So after BTech, we should join the NICMAR or the
Yes.
courses related to the LNT.
Yes.
The scope is there more.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Which stream is best in MBA?
See, if you want to work in a construction industry, if you still want to, after MBA also, if you want to stick to the construction only, I would suggest two of these. One is the human resources management, the other one is the finance management. Both find important position in construction industry. Even for contracting companies, MBA with the finance with the civil engineering background is required because they are now ruled and then troubled with chartered accountants and then the finance based people. So when you are working for a construction industry, a contracting company, civil engineering with MBA finance background can add more value than a finance guy with the finance MBA. In terms of taking bank loans, different financial options available, and then the project duration, how to price your bid, all these things. MBA finance, just MBA by finance is unable to cope up beyond certain things, which the civil engineering knowledge, with civil engineering knowledge, if a person with MBA finance, he can add more value in terms of project bidding itself, bidding advisory itself.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Nitin here, sir. Your presentation was very nice. I liked it because it is something different. The people
Thank you.
here, everybody is asking about the jobs, but by the way, your interest is to motivate the people towards the internship. Actually, my question is that there is a internal dilemma always. Means we passed out with certain degree and there is a job, and there is this entrepreneurship. Apart from that, we have to handle the our family pressure because they every means maximum people from India, they always want that means one's supposed to do the job. So how to handle this? Because even though if you will see the 90%, 90 or almost 100% friends will also motivate you to no, go and do the job. So how to handle these and take ourselves out and take a decision that, okay, I will go for the entrepreneurship.
Yeah, that's the purpose of this presentation, Mr. Nitin. That's the purpose of this presentation. So at this age, the family commitments will be only very less, and you are governed by the perceptions of your surroundings, your friends, your relatives, and if someone comes to your house and then their son is working in some flagship company, and then you are working on your own startup company, so this may be little discomforts will be there at the perception level. So you should have your grit should be more than all these perceptions and then the crosstalks. So make sure that your ambition is more than your fear and this kind of distractions. Many will be there like this. So sometimes it may try to impact your personal life also, your love life or your married life also, because you are still not settled. So your perseverance and your determination, grit will show them that how much determined you are, and then your determination, hard work will certainly pay. This I have seen myself in many people. I have developed at least 3 guys into successful entrepreneurs.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. We will wind up the session now. We can have the further questions in series 2, maybe in depth. You are going to speak maybe after 2 weeks or sometime. It was a very informative presentation. I thank all the audience who have joined. Nearly 100 plus people have joined during the session. And this particular presentation also I am going to upload in our channel, so you can watch. Somebody missed, they can watch our LinkedIn profile also I posted. You can follow the page. So many programs we are conducting regularly, free webinars and courses also we are conducting. Whoever is interested, you can join the course or the programs. I thank especially Mr. Sivaraman sir for allocating your day with us for the nice presentation, and it was very much informative. On behalf of CMTA, I thank you, and we will see in more programs.
Thank you all for attending our time.
Yes, sir. It was very much informative, and the images what are used was self-explanatory and easy to grab also. I liked it very much.
Thank you. Thanks for your credentials.
Good night, everyone. We will meet. Tomorrow we have JNSS session. You can follow our LinkedIn page. There we will be posting regular